Should have did this when I was at home, but I want to roll, so I'm gonna do it off the phone. But your girl teslin Figueroa, she was on one this past week, maybe last week on the Breakfast Club. It was supposed to be an interview with Ravi Swami, I don't know, and some brown dude running for the Republican Party, some Indian dude. But anyways, I'm watching the reaction to the video, and I was going to do a video, but I saw the grifter, Amazing Lucas, did his video in defense of her belligerentness and her ghetto-ness, which is kind of weird. He claims that that's what you want, is a ratchet black woman like that on the front lines. Like, no, you want that energy to be met with someone who's giving you the energy and not falling back and backing down. But the energy she was given did not meet the standard of that interview on the Breakfast Club. The interview, as a lot of people have said up in the beginning, was pretty cordial and cool when it was just the men, ironically. But then they brought her in to do her job as the Hood Whisperer, aka that's her and her alias. That's what she calls herself. But a few things, right? So I've defended Tesla, and I was probably the first person to like do a video about her first entrance on the Breakfast Club. I seen some of her commentary on Fox News. I understand she used to be a Bernie Sanders liberal, a progressive, but she calls herself an independent, which is whatever. She's still a nigga crap, and I've addressed that in different videos where I broke down her stance on gun control and whatnot like that. You can't be former military and a philanderer of Pookies and Ray Rays and then tell Americans we can't have our AR-15s, the most popular rifle in the country. But that's a different conversation. But in regards to her politics, she claims to be independent, but she was rocking with Bernie Sanders' team until some stuff happened and she sued them for racial discrimination and she won. She can't talk about it, but she wants some bread off of that situation, obviously. But now she's an independent and she's not playing both sides. Now, I don't believe, because some people are calling her a leftist, whatever she is, she's a Democrat. It is what it is. But I do believe she would be aggressive with, or be just as harsh and critical of the Democratic Party as she would with the Republican Party. That's not the issue. I don't think she would not do that to a Democratic candidate that she felt she needed to do that to. My problem is the energy she gave did not meet his behavior on the show. Now, I agree with her in essence that he not really went for president. He did the thing that Andrew Yang did, the yellow dude who's with the Democratic Party, who's not with the establishment, who made a lot of money in the tech field, and now he wants to cross over into that political lane and get the scraps from that lane. I think Romney's doing the same thing. I don't think he has a chance to win anything like that, and he's doing it to raise his bar, which is what people do. I agree with her that he might just be on that and not really serious about running for president. But again, you can call that out without the behavior that she offered on that show. It didn't make any sense. She got emotional. She was flustered. She made the mistake off one call, saying his parents brought him over. First of all, if his parents did bring him over, you wouldn't be interviewing him for running for president because he couldn't be for president. Two, you try to say, let's not get into small things or whatever. But no, that's pretty important. If you're claiming he's an immigrant, well, one, he couldn't run for president, so he had to correct that. And two, he wasn't. He was born in Ohio, and Cincinnati, Ohio. And that's important. So it kind of defeated your narrative. The biggest issue I had to me was her argument base was, you've never been in service and you've never done nothing, so why are you here trying to run for president and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, the argument didn't fit with me because there's more than one way to serve. Like, serving in the military, I'm going to keep it a buck. I appreciate his service more of my grandfather beat prostate cancer in his 40s. But I'm more happy that he did what he did with his company, and they came out with a medication that can help men live longer with prostate cancer. I'm sure the kids who had a disease that like 80% of them died, now because of his company, 90% of them live. I'm sure they're more happy with his service in the medical field and what he did outside of politics. I'm glad he went that route before he tried to jump into the avenue of politics. I appreciate his service more than you being in the military, possibly shooting at some brown people, right? I'll take his service more for that, right? So I never heard, like, I understand a politician talking trash, but we haven't had a politician that served in a while, right? So that's not even a conversation anymore. It's not even a gotcha thing anymore. People talk about Trump and Biden and Trump dodging and all that stuff. Cool, but we haven't had one that has actually served in a long time. It's going to be different now. We got DeSantis running. He was a a JAG. He was a military lawyer, and I think in the Navy. But he served, so he can bring that argument up. Those people can talk trash amongst each other, but I've never heard a potential, not even a potential voter, because she's not voting for him. She has no interest in voting for him, so that's not even a thing. But I can understand the value of that argument being shot back and forth between two actual political candidates. Yeah, I'm showing her little Facebook dating profile thingy. But anyways, the energy was not necessary. Her argument across the whole video was trash. She got overly emotional, tripped up her own self, because you're there to interview him. You studied him. You knew what he was coming with. Yet you called him an immigrant, and then said his parents brought him over here. Which, again, if he did, that's a pretty valid point. You wouldn't be interviewing him because he couldn't run for president. And I don't understand. Like, I'm looking at, because she posted the Amazing Lucas clip on her YouTube. And I don't even know why she blocked me on Instagram. I've only given her credit when credit is due, and I disagree with her. I disagree with her. I did a video disagreeing with her on her stance on gun control and supporting and wanting to ban AR-15s. I don't know if she saw that video and didn't like it, but I know for a fact when I did my video for her 3 years ago, when she went on the Breakfast Club, she actually appreciated it. I don't think she shared it, but she acknowledged it in her comment section. And she didn't even comment on the video, but she did acknowledge it on her Instagram that this person did a video about me. And she was cool. So it's like weird. So you can accept me when I praise you and give you credit for good things, but I guess me criticizing you was too much, or critiquing your argument in regards to the Second Amendment and gun control. It is what it is. But I don't care how you look at it. There's no defense of what she was doing. And then y'all can keep going ahead and continue. Y'all like these sassy, ignorant, snapping the neck chicks in politics. Y'all like when Auntie Maxine do it, or Valdem, or any of these women. Y'all like when they do that. But then in the world, when y'all do that, ain't nobody coming to save you, unless you got a 14-year-old son with a gun in the car. But nonetheless, I just think that her behavior on the episode was trash. It did not meet the energy. I totally get it. If a person is being a dickhead and not answering questions or not letting you speak, any of those things. And again, even Charlamagne Envy interrupted him talking about, well, she's trying to ask you a question. No, she didn't ask questions. She just made a bunch of statements, and he's trying to respond to her incorrect statements. It's like you set a metric and a mold in an argument that it's like based on your terms, not a real political interview. The question she was asking is not something you're going to get from any real journalist in regards to running for politics. And again, I agree. She didn't say it. Well, she kind of did say it. She said that you're just trying to raise your profile. I agree with that. I don't think he's serious about running for president. I think he's trying to raise his individual profile, tap into the political game. Again, the same thing that Andrew Yang did, with no serious chances of winning. And then when he gets some type of clout or whatever, he'll give whatever energy he gained to whoever the real nominee is, and he'll go disappear, or he'll get a show on Fox News or one of these conservative networks or whatever. But she could have pointed that out. She could have called that out. She could have addressed that in a manner that where she didn't come off the trash. It's even black liberals on the Breakfast Club saying, yo, you're doing too much. Your arguments don't make sense. There's not one way to serve. You can serve in multiple different ways. Your metric does not compute for everybody, especially when you aren't even voting for him. And she said that. And I said, he was like, yo, cool. You ain't got to vote for me, but don't try to make me operate off of your value set. I don't share it. I don't believe there's only one way to serve. I don't believe that I had to be common counsel in 3rd grade and protest against my teachers because he snatched papers out of my hand. Like, that shit was dumb. That shit was really dumb. But go check out Amazing Lucas video. I didn't even know. I don't follow him. I know she re-uploaded it on her Instagram, saying thanking him for sticking up for her. But I can't stick. I stick up for you when I think you deserve it, when you were being fair and balanced and not being ratchet. But it is what it is. That's the crowd she comes from. She calls herself the Hood Whisperer. She admits her attraction is Pookies and Ray Rays. I get all that. But when people call you out on that, and people who share your values and your worldview say, nah, sis, that wasn't it, take the L. That interview was trash. You was going for the Angela Rye, neck snapping, eye rolling bullshit that they do on CNN. You brought that to the Breakfast Club. You brought the Sunny hosting stupid ass nonsense she be doing on the View. You brought that LNG to the Breakfast Club, and that could be the angle. That could have been what y'all was looking for with the clicks and the likes and the views. Everybody talking about this. They don't really talk about any other interview you did. You did the interview with Marianne Wilson, and nobody talked about that interview. Maybe you didn't have that same energy. Maybe you did, but no one talked about that. No one's not a bunch of people doing videos about that. I don't think Amazing Lucas took all this time to congratulate you and give you credit for the way you interviewed her. I don't think so. But that's my video. What are your thoughts about the Tesla Figueroa's interview on the Breakfast Club with the Indian dude? Do you think that she was being fair? Do you think that her logic and her arguments matched the type of questions that should have been for a presidential candidate of the opposite party? If we're being honest, I'm not gonna call her a liberal. She's a niggercrat. There's a difference, but at the end of the day, she's probably socially liberal, and she used to have a business, so she's physically conservative. It is what it is. I think that's what Killer Mike might be as well. I think that most black people are like that, but they can't be in that lane because it comes with too much scrutiny and too many attacks. So this is where she's been attacked by a lot because she worked at Fox News, even though she's a progressive and a liberal. In essence, she won't identify as that, but that's what she's been. She's taken, even if they bring her on and talk about Democrats, she still finds a way to spew her disbeliefs or issues with Republicans too. She does what she's supposed to do, and I respect her for that. She got a lot of hate though from black people because she simply, I'm not gonna say she worked at Fox News because she didn't get paid. She was just a contributor there. But she took a lot of flack for that and a lot of smoke for that, even though she was defending black people. So now, as a flip side, she's on what you can say is the propaganda network, the Breakfast Club, to push and promote Democrat candidates because they are not and they do not have the same energy when Democrat candidates come up there. They do not talk to Kamala Harris or hold her accountable in the same way that they would do this dude, or even the dude who ran for governor of New York when he went up there. There's a definite different energy. When Booty Bandit Andrew Gillum was up there, he didn't get the same smoke. So obviously there's a biasness there, which it's niggercrat media. I get it. I don't expect anything different from Breakfast Club, from Hot 97, from The View. All damn near black media are just extensions of the Democratic Party talking points. Even when you get a person who claims to be independent and wants to hold both sides accountable, you're going to get the same stuff. It is what it is. But that's my video. I'm out.